A lot of people think writing a book is not possible in their lifetime. They don't believe they can do it. There are a few who try to do it, but shockingly, 97% of them they fail. They don't even publish the book. They don't even complete the book. But today we have someone who published two books in a single week, and one of them is already bestseller. Hello guys, welcome to author interview with Anshuman, and today we have Mr. Balaji Ramaswamy. Hi Balaji, welcome to the show.
Hi, Anshuman. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm extremely happy to be here.
The pleasure is all mine. I mean, you have the thing you have done is commendable. It's commendable. Okay, so would you like to let's start with this thing like why you why it came to your mind that you should write a book, and let's start from there.
Yes. So it was something that I had as a childhood dream that I wanted to write a book. So initially, it was something around novels or anything of that sort. Uh, but one of my friends has been pushing me for past few years to move out of my comfort zone and try something different. And so another friend named Sarika, who has attended your workshop and had published a book, also told me that this is a great way to publish a book and I have the potential and I should do it. And one of the things that I had in my mind was that to share tips related to English. I had been doing that through a Facebook group called Let's Excel in English and through the same name on WhatsApp and Telegram groups and channels. This way, I have been sharing some tips related to English through some interesting snippets of conversations and mind maps. I thought I should put all of them together in the form of a book so that it's available for everyone and not only for the people who are on those groups. That is one of the reasons why I wanted to compile this book.
Awesome, awesome. And talking about Sarika, she is a wonderful female. Not only she's a best-selling author, her book got this number one rank in a lot of category. I think 7 or 8 category. She also got a name in India Book of Record. She's a wonderful female, and glad she asked you to join this challenge. And but again, I say the same thing. Maybe it's me, it's Sarika, or anyone in the world. All everyone can show you the path, but you are the man who actually walked, and you did it possible, made it possible. So, congratulations for that. And one more thing, I always say, like we as a human being have two superpower. One, we need to know how to write, and second, we know how to speak, right? And as I say, with great powers, great comes great responsibility, right? So it's our responsibility to share our learning, and as a teacher, uh, without a book, without this thing, okay, you're doing a good job, you're helping some people, but to reach a larger number of people, you need a medium, you need to use this technology and this to support book or a course or some videos for that matter, right? And you took the first step of making a book, and definitely it's gonna help a lot of people, and it's helping a lot of people. That's the reason it's number one. So good job. So
Thank
you
you.
said,
Thank you so much.
oh, welcome. So you said it's a compilation of everything you had learned, or you had everything you've been teaching for years, right? So how easy or difficult it was for you to complete everything in these 5 years? I'm sure it's not just copy paste, right?
Yes. So there are certain things that I could get from what I have already done, and there are certain things that I wanted to change because when we write a book, whether I'm teaching English or anything, it's not only that part because the kind of examples I give can affect the mindset of a person as well. So I had to be careful with those aspects too. So it did take a lot of time. So in short, it was one Tuesday night, and the rest of it continued on a Wednesday. So that's the secret of the one of the best things about the workshop. So wherein we get to write so much in 2 days, we figure out that it is possible. So first thing is we figure out that it is possible, and the second is we challenge our own mindset and then there it is. On Thursday, you see that the book is live. So that is incredible. And of course, there were reiterations that I did even after we published the first version. I had to kind of edit certain things. But at the same time, I was able to complete this challenge. It was really a huge challenge for because of the things that I had to keep in mind, and also because of I had to do this. So there was like no alternate choice that I had. I had to do this. Uh, and the energy in that group is excellent. Energy in this 5-day workshop, energy in the group that we join on WhatsApp or any other social media. It's a family, the author's family, that is always ready to help. I mean, it's natural for someone to help you when you ask them for help. But then when I put something on Facebook and I ask people for feedback, and maybe someone was busy when they saw that, but 10 hours later, they search me, find me on a group, call me and say that I think I can help you here. And then they spend 2-3 hours at a stretch helping me to come up with multiple versions. I'm talking about another author named Aishwarya, who helped me to come up with the cover page. I got the base image from one of my friends, but then before we published the book, Aishwarya spent 2.5 hours almost in making different iterations, because either I was not happy or she was not happy with how it appeared, and then we finalized one version that both of us liked. That I don't know, but this is done without any expectations. That's where do I find this? I mean, so there are a few forums that I have been a part of wherein such things happen, but they are very rare, very rare.
I completely agree. When it comes to Aishwarya, she was there in one of your previous batch. Okay, and a lot of people confuse, like they think she is part of my team. Okay, so basically this thing is not a part of my business, and I don't have a team which handles this thing. I used to have a team before in 2020, but now I do it all alone because my team is busy with something else. And she's just someone like you. She was a student, and the best part about her is she loves helping people. And every Thursday, without fail, she attends the Thursday session where we publish our book, and she helps people, and that's why I love her for that. So I call her amazing Aishwarya, and she deserves it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But again, as I said, all of us can help you, right? But if you haven't taken that challenge, or if you haven't put in the hard work, it isn't possible. None of us can actually help you in any way, to be very honest. So the second book which you published just after a day or two, Thursday you published your first book, and Saturday you started writing your second book, and Sunday it was live,
Yes.
right? And you launch your first poetry book on the event of World Poetry Day, right? How was that journey? I mean, that was not something a challenge that I threw at you.
Yeah, that wasn't planned. That was completely unplanned. And so when I heard that it's going to be Poetry Day, I thought I would write something. But a few seconds later, I thought maybe I would publish it as a book. And it was already Sunday night, like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I tried to write. I could write two poems. I just captured my thoughts and feelings or emotions in the form of a poem. It may not fit into a traditional definition of a poem, but that's something like a poem. I did write two poems on Saturday night, and on Sunday I wrote another 18 short poems. So
How many did you say?
So in total, it's 20 it's 20 in total, and on Sunday I wrote 18 of them.
18 poems in a day.
18 poems in a day.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I was capturing all my emotions, thoughts, and my 11th point to the 20th is all about my first. So my first journey as a commentator, or my first time as a as a writer. So that's a dedication for you. My first book. I wrote a poem on that. So I wrote all my firsts and thank the people who made it possible for me.
So, okay, now we have a poetry book, we have a full-fledged learning book, okay, which is a number one in multiple category when it comes to English vocabs and everything. So, let's discuss about the first book, right? So, who's the target audience? Like, is for kids, it's for working professional, it's for who's the target audience? Who should read this book?
Well, so this book has something in terms of business English as well. There's a section for business English wherein they get to learn vocabulary that could be used in meetings, group discussions, for emails. There are sections like that in this book. And in addition to that, there's a section called General English, which is something that is applicable for everyone. Just for an everyday English, they could use this. So it could be used by school students as well. Anyone above the age of 10 could use those phrases because they tend to use some of them, and they might get new words and phrases that they could use instead of the ones that they regularly use from this.
Okay. So basically, it's for most of the people. No matter you're a student, you're a working professional, you're a business owner, it's for you. If English is
Yes,
language, you need to communicate.
absolutely. That's right. Yeah.
And I don't know, it's good or bad, but if you see, English is the primary language that we communicate. Blame it to the Britishers, but yeah, that's a fact, right?
True.
But a lot of people still struggle a lot when it comes to. So I get a lot of mail, and I have to read them multiple times to understand what the intention of that mail, what is written over there. And a lot of time I just skip those mail because I don't have time to understand it, you know. So I just skip that mail. So what are the tips? I mean, forget about tips. Why you think people make such mistakes? Common mistakes, right? And it's not like they haven't taught this thing in school. So still, we, including me, when I'm a culprit of it. So why do we make such mistakes?
Um, that's a wonderful question. There are two aspects here. So one is the kind of mistakes that we make when we write, and another is the kind of mistakes that we make when we speak. When we write, we have the luxury of proofreading it before we send it. So the possibility of errors is a little less. And nowadays we have Grammarly and many other tools to check what we write. When it comes to speaking, the challenge here is that uh, a lot of Indian languages are spoken fast. And I tell my trainees and my students to just imagine that someone from New Zealand or Australia or England trying to learn Hindi or Tamil or Kannada or any regional language and making an attempt to speak it fast. How hard or how easy would it be to understand? So that is exactly the same thing that we need to practice. As we are trying to speak in a foreign language, we need to slow down a little bit. That way, we will be able to organize the thoughts in a much better way and eliminate the common errors that we tend to do, which we actually, in those instances when we actually know what mistake it is. So if that is on a question paper, we would know how to correct it. But then when we speak, we make those errors. So such errors can be avoided when we slow down. And another reason why people make mistakes when they write and when they speak is they tend to think in their mother tongue. Now, this is not a bad thing, but at the same time, it can affect the language. So, to ensure that they think in their mother tongue, at least for a month, all the inputs should be in English. What they listen, what they read, what they hear. So, all the inputs should be in English. If what you listen, what you read, everything is in the regional language, then what you write or what you speak will have that influence. So if you stick only to English, then it would be easier for people to start speaking without that influence of the regional language, or at least reduce that influence.
Right. And for that, the only solution is practice.
Absolutely,
The only
absolutely.
solution I can see. Okay. My second question, just based on the what we just discussed, is most of people have learned this thing in school. Most of them. Okay. There are a lot of videos on YouTube who shares the same thing. Like these are the thing you have, the grammar, the pronunciation, and everything. Okay. Even the situation. Right. Now, why should anyone read your book? I mean, this is not something new,
Yes.
right? So, why should anyone read your book?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of information available on the internet, and most of them could be correct information as well. But the only challenge is, instead of just listing a set of words or phrases, I have tried to put this into interesting conversations. So before they get to see the list, they get to read a conversation, and this conversation is between a mother and a son, or something that goes on between a husband and wife, something like that, so that it's a little interesting for people to read, and from that they can learn the words or phrases that could be used in their daily life.
Right. So, again, you're saying you're giving them situation like this is situation, this is how people speak, and you should use the same, not same, but similar kind of language, similar kind of vocabs when you interact with someone in this situation. And so basically, you are giving them an action plan where they can take actions.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so now that's it. That helps. Right. Okay, perfect. So apart from these stories, you have a lot of mind maps,
Yes.
right? Would you like to share something about those things?
Yes. I think for many people, reading could be something a little hard, unless it's absolutely interesting. And we have always heard pictures speak louder than words. And these pictures have some words. So, and mind maps are easy to remember, register. It's not only for English, any subject that people wish to learn, they can create the flow charts or any kind of mind maps that would help them to enhance their, it would make the process of learning a lot more easier. So that is one of the reasons why I decided to put them into in the form of mind maps, so that those who wish to skip this snippets but want to just grab the vocabulary, instead of just putting it into a tabular column or bullet points, I put it into a mind map so that they could see this and they could learn from this.
Awesome. And if I read this book, I'll make sure I'll take a screenshot of these mind maps and I'll stick it on my wall so that I don't make any mistake. No, honestly, I do that. I do this, such kind of thing. So,
That's lovely.
no, I mean, this is what I believe when you have something in front of your eyes, okay, and it gets into your brain and you commit those things. You make take action to get those things done. Okay, so there's something called out of sight is out of mind. It's not
Yes.
possible for you to keep your book handy, though you have this in Kindle, you have it in mobile, but you can just read it always. It's not possible
Yes.
for any human being, right? But
Absolutely.
if it's on a wall or maybe the desktop, you can just subconsciously that enters your mind, and when you practice those things, you actually that I found that helpful. I don't know about others, but I find that helpful. So, what's your suggestion will be for readers, like how they should read this book? Like they should read in one go and complete. It's not a very thick book, right? It's a handbook, I can say.
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyone can complete it in one go. So, would you suggest them
Yes.
to read like just a book, read it in one go and keep it in the bookshelf, or uh, like I said, stick those picture on your wall or desktop, or what's your uh, suggestion would be for readers?
Uh, yes, my suggestion is they could read this once to understand what is in the book. But once they do that, it is a good idea to figure out what are the things they actually need help with, because the book has sections with vocabulary for specific purposes, vocabulary for meetings, vocabulary for emails, vocabulary for daily use, expressing likes and dislikes, something like this. So they can pick where they actually need help with, or if they need help with everything, they could choose to print everything. And it's a good idea to kind of paste it so that they can access it. It's something that reminded me of one of the techniques that we follow when we teach. So whenever we teach these vocabulary parts, we do establish this. We put it on the board, or we project it on the screen, and leave it on the screen when we ask the students to practice it. So when that goes away, it's going to be a little hard for them to practice. Or when they look at the notebook and practice it every time, it's not going to be natural for them to do it in the classroom. So when they see it on the screen and practice it, it is going to be very useful for them. And if the same thing works for the readers, then I would urge them to do that. So it's at the end of the day what works for them that they should. Yeah.
Definitely. So even I feel there is no point reading this book just as a book in one go and then just keep it in the bookshelf. So it's actionable. It has some actionable steps that is required. They have to put that into practice, and they should refer this book. I would say maybe every day, like a morning routine or something. It's not a heavy book, all right. So they can actually carry this book, forget heaviness. It's in Kindle, so they can carry this on the phone, and they can just read while traveling, maybe while having breakfast or something, and practice those things every day. Even I'm going to do the same thing. So I think that is a better way to do it. Follow your book. Even I feel that way. I mean, actually, I'm going to do the same thing. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to post this on my wall or desktop. Second, I'm going to make it up my morning ritual, like every day after I get up, while having my breakfast or while working out, I'll just go through it and hardly take any time, right?
Good.
And so that is there in my brain, and throughout the day I can practice those things rather than doing it in the night or in the afternoon. I would suggest, I mean, that works for me. So I'll practice it. I'll read the first thing in the day in the morning, so that I can practice. I have a whole day to practice this thing. So that's how I'll do it. And one more thing I loved about your book is, see, again, it's about taking action, right? So as I said, everything is available on internet. Now, most of them are, some of them are right, some of them are wrong, but information is there, right? So
Yes.
if someone is smart, he or she should get the right information, right?
Yes.
Information doesn't work. It doesn't help. Practice it.
Absolutely.
The best part I love about your book is the last page, where you've actually given your details and you ask your readers to get in touch with you if they feel any help, they need any help. And that's the best thing I loved about the book. So, let's say, for example, I read this book, I love this book, and I get in touch with you. How can you help me? Considering I'm a reader. And
Yes. So, based on the kind of help the individual needs, I set up a meeting with them. We discuss where they exactly need help. So, I'm a firm believer of the fact that same size may not fit all. So, based on that,
wouldn't agree more.
yeah. So, based on the individual's need, we can organize sessions where they will get to practice language in the kind of setup that where they need. So, I don't see a point in making someone who barely writes emails to give a context where they have to use vocabulary for emails and write emails, because that's not their objective, because their job does not involve writing emails. So someone whose job only involves speaking, or 90% of his job involves speaking, in that case, I don't see a person as see a point in training him or her on writing skills. So it is based on what is useful for them. I'll have to design a program according to their requirement. So according to their requirement, I will be able to help them or give them tips. So give them some tips so that they can follow. And it is again, when you hear tips, you forget. So it is always a push that sometimes people lack. I told you that for 3 years, someone has been pushing me to try something out of my comfort zone. And Sarika pushed me for the past almost 1 month to try and take up this writing task. So, but only once I enrolled in your program and I felt the heat that, yeah, I have to complete this by, this is the deadline and this is what has to be done by then. These are the things. It seemed impossible. It really seemed impossible. But then once you start taking the action, and then you see the book live. So it's the same with most of the things. So once you take the action, then when you have the right guidance, when you have the right mentor, dreams do come true. Yeah.
And one thing you said, right, you need to find the right mentor. And these days, especially in last 1 year or something, after this pandemic, maybe, I can see a lot of people claiming themselves as gurus. We can see a lot of ads on Facebook, and it's really difficult to find the right mentor because all of them have, they market themselves as they are the best.
Right.
And a lot of people join my workshop and they say the same thing. Before joining my workshop, they had attended so and so workshop, it didn't work for them, and they joined this thing and they were able to finish the book. So it is important to find the right mentor. Oh, right. Now, when we are saying people should reach out to you, okay, and they should know why you're the right mentor. What I know the reason, okay. I know your background, I know your qualification, I know from which club you are from, okay, and that is the most renowned club throughout the world, right? But I would like you to share about those things, like why people should come to you, because
Mm.
in every city, in every street, I would say there is one spoken English institute.
Yes. Very true. Very true. So, to start with, in terms of the credibility, I'm a Cambridge CELTA certified English language teacher. Cambridge University offers this certification called CELTA for people across the globe. Like they offer it through the British Council centers in most of the countries and through some other centers in other countries. But it is an international certification. It is a 1 month long certification on teaching English. I thoroughly enjoyed that experience of learning how to teach because that was not what I studied for. I did not study for that in college. I was an IT professional. I was working as an engineer. And the first day of my work, I found someone teaching us fluency. That day, I decided if a profession like this exists, then I'm going to take this up. So from then on, I took baby steps. And 3 years I survived in the IT only to save money for my certification. So once I had enough money and the courage and the backup for 3 months, I moved into the certification. I mean, I took up the certification. So that helped me a lot to learn how to teach. From there, I had the experience of working as a communication coach for 3 years. And then I worked as an English language teacher with renowned institutes like King's Learning and also with British Council. So these places gave me immense value. So I found my mentors there. They they taught me what not to do, what to do, because after my classes, I have received feedback from people, very valuable feedback from senior teachers. And because of that, I carry this ability to correct myself and also to teach and give the best that I can to people. And the entire thought process of understanding that same size does not fit all came from all this experience. So that is one of the reasons why I believe I'm a credible person who could help the people who are in need of help with respect to learning English. Another reason is, as a person who has worked with language schools, like what I have mentioned, I have had the chance of teaching students as young as 8 and as old as 64. So, which means I have had the chance I have been blessed with an opportunity to help people from all walks of life. And I had the chance to train people who barely had any experience in using English for work, who most of the time spoke in their regional language and just needed to learn to write simple sentences. I also had the chance to train people who were writing manuals for aircrafts. So that's a wide range of spectrum that I could cover, and that is the reason why I believe I can understand the challenges that the people face. So once a person is able to understand, I think they can come up with the right solution. I think more than 90% of the solution lies in understanding the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll share one incident with you. Uh, so I suck when it comes to speaking English, and I used to suck more a couple of years ago. Okay, now I suck a bit less, but I still suck. And as discussed, I'm going to come to you for help for this. But yeah, I'm talking about 2018 something, 18, 19 something. I wanted to improve my skills, so I used to see state seafoods near Bombay. I walked into all the classes they were promising spoken English thing, right? And everyone was like, "We don't know what to teach you. You know everything." Like, okay, thank you very much. I mean, I knew I I'm sucking, and you're like, okay. So the thing is, it's really important to find someone who has that credibility, like you say, your background, things you're doing, the things you've done, the verticals you're covering. That is something required, and a lot of people miss on that thing. And apart from that, Toastmasters, you miss that thing. Yeah, that is something which impressed me. Okay. Now I'm not saying it's difficult to get into Toastmasters. Anyone can join Toastmasters. That's not a big deal. Sorry for that.
No.
Yeah, anyone can join Toastmasters. That's not a big deal. But actually practicing the thing, going on the stage, talking on multiple subjects that they ask you to speak, right? That's not everyone's cup of tea. You need to practice a lot for that, right? So yes, those things make you the perfect coach for me, right?
Yeah, so Toastmasters has played a very big role in my life. Okay, so if I had the courage to quit a job which was paying me every month without finding another one, I believe that's a courage that I got from Toastmasters, because I was very sure like nothing will go wrong. Even if something goes wrong, it's okay. I'll find a way out. And not all forums give you such courage. And Toastmasters is one forum. Toastmasters, broadly, if you ask anyone, they would say it's a forum for enhancing public speaking skills and leadership skills. But then a lot of other things happen. Just like Anshuman's 5-day writing workshop, it's not only about publishing a book. There's a lot of other things that I got from this: positive mindset, wonderful people who call me and support me for no reason. you know, so I and another is changing my mindset, challenging my beliefs. So just like that, Toastmasters can help you change your mindset, help you feel more positive, and more importantly, make you take action, because you will see people literally chasing you to take action, because they are the people who have taken action and found value in it. And as once you join their family as a member, they really wish you to have the same kind of satisfaction. So you find mentors there, and I found some wonderful mentors there who made me push beyond my limits, and that is how I got to organize one of my first panel discussions, which I was timid. I was not ready. But then, as Anshuman, I think most of the time says, you are never ready. You are never ready to publish a book. You are never ready to switch into a new profession. You are never ready to start your own business. You are never ready for anything. But then, yeah, someone has to give the push, or you have to push yourself. And it's absolutely okay to ask for help. And there are people to help in forums like Toastmasters. So that forum has given me a lot of courage, a lot of good mentors and great friends. Yes, so that's the role Toastmasters played in my life.
Right. And you are not the only one. Like, I first heard about Toastmaster by one of my mentor. He became a mentor just a couple of months ago. I mean, last December only, 2020, I joined him. But before that, I used to follow him since a long time. And his name is Stan Locke. You must have heard of him, right? He is a very influential personality. In one of the video, he shared this thing like, uh, I didn't knew anything about English. I was from a Chinese background. He's from China basically. Uh, Now because of Toastmaster, he is making it possible. And then I searched by like what is Toastmaster and everything. I got to know what Toastmaster. And then Mr. Praveen Varalkar, he was one of my colleague and my boss, I can say. And more than a boss, he was a very good friend. He's a very good friend. He's a very good mentor. So I see him in that way, not like a boss. And he asked me, like, Anshuman, join Toastmaster. And I joined Toastmaster, but then this pandemic came and something happened. So that's a different story. Yeah, coming from a Toastmaster background, coming from British Council, I mean, I don't think anyone can find a better coach than you, at least at this particular time. Right. So yes. So the readers, if you're watching it and if you're going to read this book, or if you already read this book, I would suggest the reads on the last page. That's the most important page of this book. So make the most use of that last page. Okay. It's not about just the book. You won't achieve anything from reading the book or practicing. Right. So by the way, Balaji, how much you spent to done your certification?
So when I joined, it was back at 30,000. I think it must be quite a little higher now, possibly 1.45, I guess. But when I did it, it was 1,30,000. That's why it took 3 months for 3 years for me to save that.
Right. Because these things don't come cheap. If you really want to get some value, you have to spend, you have to invest, right? You have to
Yes.
not only money, you have to invest your time, money, both, and energy, right? Without so basically, money is nothing but a commitment. So when you pay something, it's just a commitment, right?
Exactly.
That is it, right? So how much you charge on an average?
So these one-to-one sessions, we initially have the first meeting for the discussion, for which I don't charge anything because that's my analysis. So it's more like a diagnosis that I do, because sometimes the participants, the students, they say that this is what I need. But when I ask them a few questions, I get to figure out that that's not what they need. They know those rules already, but their challenge is with the practice. They don't get to practice something other than what they think is their challenge. So after the diagnosis, we create a 15-day plan for which I charge 7,500. So the 15 days, 15 hours. So 15 hours of one-to-one individual attention I get. So for 15 hours, I charge 7,500 for the participants. So it's 500 an hour. And they get to spend time one-on-one with me, wherein they get to learn, practice, correct their errors, all of it.
Yeah, and that is what required. Because no matter how much video you watch, no matter how many times you record your voice and listen to it, if you're not practicing it with someone in a real-time conversation, you won't get it. You won't get it. So, yep, that's
True.
the
Very
coming of
true.
this kind of program because a lot of people I see they run group classes, right? And I don't get the value in that. It's okay. I mean, I'm not saying that's bad or that's wrong, but the value you can get in a one-on-one session that's totally different.
Yes.
Even the next level programs that I conduct, the coaching I do, apart from this challenge, they are all one-on-one because I know I won't be able to give value in a group session because, as I say, not a single shoe fit everyone. Right? So,
Correct.
thanks for coming. And I'm sure it's not just 1 hour that you have to spend. You have to spend a lot of time to add value in that 1 hour. Right.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I can say this because even I do such things. So I know. how much homework or background thing you have to do before this actual 1 hour that you spend with our clients or students or you know.
Yeah. So one more factor that they get from these one-on-one sessions is that, so after, let's assume that I'm teaching vocabulary for meetings one day and making them practice. So after that, they have to answer a couple of questions. Just an yes or no would do, but then they have to answer that. So these are affirmation statements like, I can use the words and phrases to express agreement in a meeting in a professional way. So they can say yes or no based on their honest feedback of the student. And of course, I will also add my feedback. Based on that, we will relook at the areas where the students need help. So that way, we keep a continuous track of what we have learned every day. So it's not like I went to a session, I attended 15 days, it was great, but now I don't remember anything. So they will get a chance to relook at what they have learned every time and see if they are able to use it.
Awesome. Okay, Balaji, if you don't mind, can I ask you something? And
Yes.
it's a tough question. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you might not want to answer it if that is the
Okay.
case, but I
Yeah.
would like to know it from you. So,
Okay.
a lot of people join these spoken English classes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they complete the course, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't get the value. Even after completing the batch, the course of whatever duration it is, they don't get much result. They don't see much results. Okay,
Yeah.
so that means uh, either the students are not doing the right thing, or the institutes are not teaching the right thing or the right way, or both of them are wrong.
Yes.
I want to know what's your point of view.
So that could be all the reasons that you mentioned and more. So when it comes to the challenges from the students' side, so one of them could be they enroll in a program just to get a certificate, and nothing beyond that is an intention. In that case, it doesn't work. And another challenge from the student is they join and they don't take action. So in that case also, it doesn't work. How to make a student take action? I think that would be a 50% ownership on the student and a 50% ownership on the trainer. So based on how much push they give and how much effort they take, how much push the mentor gives and how much effort the mentee takes, based on that, they progress. With respect to what some of the institutions might be doing incorrectly is that, so when a student joins, uh, they tell people how to enhance their vocabulary. They tell people how to speak better. So it is basically like putting students who came for a driving school inside a classroom and giving them a lecture on driving for 5 hours and expecting them to drive, which doesn't happen. So uh, I would urge, if any of you want to learn English, find a place that gives more time for the participants or the students to speak.
Practice, basically.
Yeah. Yes. So practice is the only way, and when practice happens in the presence of a mentor, that's when you get to correct the mistakes that you do. So
And one more thing which I found, uh, I told you, I've visited almost all the coaching center, the spoken English center in Bombay, Nerul area, Nerul, Seawoods, Nerul, those things. The trainers, right? I didn't get a vibe or this confidence that okay, this guy can actually teach me.
hmm.
They said that's the story that they only say कि they don't have anything to teach me.
Hmm.
So my question is, now this is not for the trainer. This is for the institute, the owner of this institute.
Hmm.
Should they keep some criteria in mind while hiring the trainers?
Very good question. I would say that, so certifications add a lot of credibility. So you could look for standard certifications like CELTA, or a higher version is Delta, and we have TESOL, which are highly standard certifications. Primarily, these certifications are the ones that have taught me to increase my students' talking time in any class. That is one primary criteria based on which our teaching practices were evaluated. So every alternate day we had to teach when we did the certification. And when we do not teach well, when we do not increase the students' talking time, when we do not do what is expected of us in more than 2 or 3 teaching practices, we don't get the certification. Like, even if we have spent so much, we don't get the certification. We are not living up to the expectations. So those highly standard certifications can add a lot of value. But there could be people who do not have these certifications but really have the skill. It is not necessary to completely ignore them. So as long as you see potential in a person, it's good to hire. So the best questions that one could ask is, when there is an elementary learner, what would you do? When there is an advanced learner, what would you do? Can you cater to the needs of all the people with all levels of proficiency? So if that is the case, then yes, that person is the right person. Because so I have seen some of the teachers are like this. So it is like, I am the same teacher teaching all the 30 students, and why one child scores 100 and another child or another student scores like 30 or 40. So the fault is not with me, the fault is with the students. But the 30 students are 30 different individuals from 30 different socioeconomic backgrounds, from 30 different families, 30 different the set of friends they have is different, the exposure they have is different. So understanding the learner as an individual is a very important skill for a teacher. And so in any good workshop, what I find is they find those who are good at someone and they request them to help another student. And so any trainer or a teacher who can promote peer learning is a fantastic thing, because it is not always, when it comes to group classes, especially, I'm saying. So it's not always about what you could do. It's about what the student could do. It's most of the time about what the student could do.
It's most of the time. I would say it's always that only. If you're unable to focus on each and every student in your class, that means you are not doing justice to the job. Even I completely agree. Yeah. One more thing I find, one mistake that a lot of institutes do. Okay, they want to hire someone who's inexpensive.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, that maybe there are multiple reasons behind this, but this is a pricier mistake that they do by hiring a inexpensive instructor. So that is one thing even I observed in my venture that do this mistake. Even while in any job for that matter, a lot of people try to hire someone who has less experience or maybe who has got a lot of experience in number of years, but he's charging less, right? So yeah, that is one more mistake I can say that I have found people doing.
Yes, I completely agree with you on that. I was about to come to that point as well, because when it is like, when I decide to join a particular institute or anything like that, it also reduces the kind of commitment the student gives. So someone charges 100 rupees for 10 classes, then the person is going to think like, anyway, it's just 100 rupees. So the student's mindset also is like that when they charge very less.
Right. So I'll give an example of this challenge only, 5 challenge.
Mhm.
Right. When I started in last March, I started for free because anyway, this is not a money making thing for me. I had a different reason for that, and we got I mean almost 100 people in the first batch only, and guess how many of them published the book on time?
Maybe 3. Okay.
Zero.
0. Oh, okay.
Zero.
Oh my God.
And after a couple of months, I got 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay,
Mhm.
not more than that. Okay, then I made it 500. Then
Mhm.
I saw some results.
Mhm.
Now it's In your batch, it was 3,000, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
now you saw the results, the quality.
Correct.
The coming back, I'm again increased the thing of 4,000, previously 5,000. So when
Hmm.
you increase the price, and I'm keeping it affordable for a lot of people. It's
Hmm.
not something that they have to rob a bank. No, not
Exactly.
that's something or decent money that can invest that they don't want to lose. And if
Correct.
it's something, it's again a commitment. You don't want to lose your 5,000 bucks,
Hmm.
and you put in the hard work because ultimately it's about the commitment. And the same
Yes.
goes with hiring the trainers as well, or picking up the right institute. So,
Correct.
like the same, if you throw peanuts, right?
Correct.
Or, yeah. So that's the thing. Okay, so now you spoke about the book, you spoke the courses, right? One thing that a lot of people struggle, no matter it's about English, or writing a book, or finding a job, or cracking a certification, anything, okay? Or let's say opening their own startup.
Hmm.
There's one thing, there are a lot of things that blocks people, but I feel there is one thing that stops them. And for me, it's the mindset. What do you think? Because in your case also, you joined engineering, you started working with Wipro, then you left your job and started doing this thing of your own. Now you have your own venture, right? And for sure, the journey was not easy.
Yes.
Being an engineer and doing this something like this, I can relate with you, right? So for me, it's the mindset.
Hmm.
What about you?
So I completely agree with the mindset part. So I think that's the first thing that needs to be said correctly. So one of my friends has been pushing me to change my mindset for a long time. But then, certain things when it is pushed too much, you don't agree as well. So, but then, yes, as a well-wisher, what she said is right. And it is the same thing that has happened with another very good friend of mine who had known me since birth. It's my mom, who has always been trying to push me to do certain things. So it is when I started working in the IT and in the very first 2 or 3 weeks after starting with the project, I said, I don't want to continue. She pushed me to continue because she wanted me not to say no because something is difficult. And at the same time, 3 years later, when I found my passion, it is the same person who asked me to, it's okay. She told me, it's okay, you can quit. And she was even ready to support me financially because she had been a teacher of English for 20 years. But then I had enough backup and I also found what I love and found a way to make money with what I love. So uh, she's the same person who asked me to quit as well. So you will, if your intent is right, your mindset will change, or people in your life will change your mindset. But when such things knock your door, I think you have to grab that opportunity. So that's the only factor. And I think I heard in one of the speeches by Mr. Bajaj that we like what others do, or we want to do what others do, and that's not a very bad thing. So as long as it's something good, it's something positive, it's something productive, it's okay to do, to be someone who wants to do what others do. My friend published a book, and Sarika published a book, and then they pushed me to publish a book. And they saw some potential in me. So I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for the push that they gave. And in Anshuman's language, we call it tough love, which is shared by the people in the family and by Anshuman himself. When someone feels low, someone feels a little not ready to get into that push. And I remember you even mentioning that there were people who had a 4-month-old baby and published a book in 5 days. There were people who are traveling all the 5 days, but they published the book. So if all of that is possible, then yeah, it's all about the mindset.
Right. So I'd say this way: either you do what you want to do, or what you have to do, or you come up with excuses. You can do the both the thing at a time, at the same time. Either you give excuses that you can do it, or if you take action and get it done. And like you say, you quoted Bajaj, like you tend to do what people are doing. Yes, if you take that in a good way, that's good. Like you say, give an example of writing a book. Okay, if someone is writing a book, you are not writing a book, and you get inspired by them, you wrote a book. Very good. But at the same time, I have to add a twist to it. If you are doing some what is done by everyone, what everyone is doing, okay, you'll get the same result what everyone is getting.
Correct.
If you want to get different results, you have to change the way it's done.
The style. Yeah.
You don't want to do it the way everyone is doing it. Otherwise, you get the same result what everyone is getting.
True. True.
Yep. There are a couple of things which are really interesting. And yes, a lot of people don't discuss those things. That's my biggest way. That's the reason I started this challenge.
Hmm.
Because people talk about a lot of things. Like this, talk about, you can do this, you can do that, you blah, 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 blah. But nobody teaches you or talks about this thing like, dude, take action, right?
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
yeah. So again, for the readers of your book, I'd say, don't read this book. Please don't read this book if you don't read it. If you want to be in your comfort zone, you don't want to face any challenges, please do us a favor. Sorry, Balaji, but that's my humble request to readers. Don't read this book. It will not help you. You'll waste your time, you'll waste your money. But if you take action, follow the strategies, follow the things that are in this book, that will definitely help you. And then you should read this book.
Yes.
Right, Balaji? I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. Because in
Because when they read and do not take action, right, the feedback they would give would also be like, yeah, the book is good, but I don't think it helped much.
right. And apart from that, in this family, in that family, all of us believe in one thing, and that is the first thing we make it very clear on the day one itself. The book is not to get name or fame. This is just the most important part of this book. Everything is a byproduct of it. Like you'll get earn money, you'll get name, fame, blah blah blah. You can use a book to grow in your career. Everything said and done. The motive is very simple. The motive is to add value to people's life, and everything is just a byproduct. So if so, this I always say to my readers or anyone who reads any of the book in this family by this family, don't read them if you don't want to take action, because unless you take action, you don't get anything, and that's not the value of this family,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else you want to share, Balaji?
So, just one more point about this entire workshop. This entire workshop, I would say one part of it is publishing the book. One part of it is publishing the book. There are lots of things that you get from this. So, yeah, I think mindset is one part because I have never thought or believed that I can stay awake till 5 a.m. when I haven't slept during the day. I have worked in night shifts. That's a different story. I sleep during the day and then work at the night. But one entire stretch, and that too like that for 2 days in a week. I never thought I am a person who is capable of doing that. It's not my advice for the people who are listening to do that every week. But then, it is one challenge that I could. I have proved to myself that I'm capable of doing something that I never thought I'd be able to do. And at a stretch, writing 18 poems, I never thought I would do that. But then, as it was poetry day, and I just got one source of motivation from Anshuman, who said, there is nothing like releasing a poetry book on a poetry day. And I think till Sunday, you are not aware that I was writing a book.
I was surprised. I was just shocked. I was surprised. Like, okay, and just 1 day or 2 day. I mean, okay. So, thanks for doing it.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. So you had been a great source of motivation, Anshuman. And before we end, just a very small, no, token of appreciation from my side, or I don't know how to call it, but I wish to read something for you, which I wrote this morning. So here is those few lines, a short poem for you. So this is about Anshuman. Makes dreams come true, challenges the usual mindset, shatters old beliefs on writing, stays sleepless on Thursdays to give wings to dreams. And that's for you, Anshuman. Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me, honestly. And I really don't have any words to thank you for this. And this is, you know, I'm touched. I can't say anything now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anshuman. It was great meeting you on today. I must say that I am a completely different person. I have changed to a completely different person in these 5 days. So yeah, as I have been saying, there's a lot beyond writing in this workshop. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'm glad I could be of any help to you. I'm really glad. I'm really happy.
Thanks a lot,
Okay.
Anshuman.
Okay, so let's wind up. And before we wind up, uh, for the viewers, going to put the link to both the book in the description. My little book of poems, which is released on the World Poetry Day, and the little book of learning, which is published in just 5 days, in the description. And you can go click on this link, get your copy. And if you want to write your book,
I will do that for you. To all of you who are watching, if you ever thought that it's impossible for you to publish a book, I am here to tell you that it's absolutely possible. And that too, it's possible within 5 days. Time bound goals always work. And when you have the right pointer like Anshuman, it will definitely work. So if you're interested in publishing your own book, and that too within 5 days, and if you're ready to take challenges, if you're fond of challenges, choose this opportunity to click the link on the description so that you could register for the 5 day of the challenge. And in one Monday to Friday, you would see your book live because of your actions, but from the guidance from an expert mentor like Anshuman. So I am eager to read all your books. Thank you so much.
thank you, thank you, Balaji. So that's it for now. See you in the next episode. Till then, take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Thank you, Anshuman.